All right, well, good evening to everyone, and thank you all for coming. What we'll do is we'll start off with a pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you all for participating in that, and thank you all for showing up. I know that the weather is not going to be great, but I want to take attendance first. So Peter? Here. Chris? Yo. Dave? Here. Larry? Here. And Mark Nicholson here. So we've got 5 here. Just give folks a real quick point. We need a vote, a positive vote of 3 to pass any one of our agendas. So that's something that you just need to be aware of. What we're going to do here is we're going to review the meeting minutes from last meeting. Most people have already got them, so that shouldn't take long. We'll approve those as written, then I'll tell you about the process. It only takes a couple of minutes. And then we'll start with Jillian Romano, and then second will be Judy Colombo.
He's an alternate, so you need to...
They're both alternates.
Yeah, Dave is also.
All right. Do we need to do that even though there's emails that have been sent out to both of them?
Yes.
Okay.
Just so the record reflects that you appointed them as voting members.
Okay. There are 2 alternates. One of them is Dave Whitlock. Very good. He's an alternate. He's been on as an alternate all along, attends most of our meetings. We're going to put him in a chair this week, and he's going to vote the same as any board member. And Peter is going to be here. He's an alternate also, going to been to most meetings. He's got a lot of experience, and he's going to be a voting member tonight also. So we do have 5 people on the board. The other ones here are regular members. All right, so we've put them in place. I've appointed them to sit in those chairs. Meeting minutes from last meeting. Everybody had a chance to review them. What I'll take is I'll take a motion to either do a correction or accept them as written.
I move that we accept them as written.
All right, Dave, thank you. Dave made a motion that we accept them as written. We have that seconded anyplace?
Second that.
Seconded, Chris, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. Meeting minutes are approved as written for the last meeting. And thank you all very much. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go through. I'm going to read both of the agenda items here. And I'm going to ask each person to get up and tell us what it is we're trying to do, why they're trying to do it, and what they'd like the board to take an act on. That'll be probably in the reading, but I still give you an opportunity there. Then the board can ask you questions, or you can ask the board questions. When you're through, I will close that portion. Then I'll ask for general comments from the general public. Anyone here from the general public can give comments on it. Doesn't look like there's a whole lot of people, I know that. But we'll give them an opportunity to speak for or against it. All we ask them is just tell us your name, tell us your address, and tell us what your thoughts are. At that point, I will close that when we're done with that, and then the board will have an open discussion, and I'll call for a vote. We'll do that tonight. We'll make that through, and we'll be through with that process. So if nobody's got any questions, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read through the agenda. The agenda is 2 items here. We have a Jillian Romano, owner of Pink Collar Society, intending to do business at 19 East Main Street. The applicant seeks preliminary and final site approval for a change of use of a portion of the first floor from a mercantile occupancy classification to a business occupancy classification pursuant to Village Code 175-22B and 175-40B. The applicant also seeks a variance for the parking spaces where the number of parking spaces required is 1 for each 300 vehicle roughly 2 spaces required for the square footage that you have pursuant to the village code 175-53B, and 0 parking spaces are provided. So in other words, you may have something in the store, but it's on the street, but you're not gonna be provided with any spaces. Second one we've got is Judy Colombo, owner of 37 Martin Street. The applicant seeks to install a driveway in the front yard of the house pursuant to Village Code 175-53H. The applicant proposes to build a 1-car driveway where parking is prohibited. The applicant therefore seeks relief from the current zoning for a variance for a driveway in the front yard of the house. It is zoned as G1, which is industrial. Okay, Jillian,
Yes.
come right up there, just tell us who you are. Tell us your address or what we're talking about and what you'd like.
Yeah, so my name is Jillian Romano. I grew up here in the village of Webster. I'm looking to open my business, Pink Collar Society, at 19 East Main Street. I've been practicing aesthetics for almost 5 years now. I've been working on my own for about 1 year, so I'm just looking to expand that and give other people like myself, beauty professionals, the opportunity to work with me. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
So, what kind of business is it?
So it's like a beauty bar, day spa kind of business. So
Okay.
I'm doing facials, waxing, lashes, things of that nature.
All those things, you can do them all.
Yes.
Very good. All right. Questions, other questions from members of the board?
You said the first floor, portion of the first floor. What's the rest of the first floor going to be?
I'm not really sure. I know that I'm just renting out the space in 19 East Main. I know that there's apartments above and then there's also another business to the side of me, so maybe that's what,
Okay.
yeah.
Is it gonna be inside the business?
What is 19?
Inside,
No.
it's not gonna be inside 19.
That's what they told me on the lease. I'm not really sure how to answer that question. 'Cause it seems to be just one store, so I don't,
It's got walls up separating you from anybody else.
Right.
Got it, and you wanna set up a beauty, and I apologize for calling it just a beauty parlor, but you wanna do all those things to folks out of that location.
yes.
Very good. Other questions or thoughts from members of the board?
The Pink Collar Society, that's not, is that the name of the business?
Yes.
That's going to be the name of the
Yep.
business? Yeah, I've seen the sign on it. You're not going to be doing any, like, Botox injections or anything like that?
I personally won't. It might be an option in the future if somebody wants to come in and rent a space from me.
Okay, someone qualified to do that?
Yes.
Not for me.
Ain't no helping you.
So do you have any partners in this, or any people that you've already established to rent space?
I don't have a partner. I do have somebody who's going to be renting doing permanent jewelry right now. I'm still looking to have at least 4 more people come in.
Would you also do nails in this shop?
No.
You will not.
still not.
Just I asked, I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's not my thing.
Other questions by anybody from the board?
No,
Do you have any questions for us?
Not at this time.
What I understand you're looking for is preliminary and final approval.
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Oh, and the parking places, yes, we'll have to do an additional one on that, but,
Okay.
very good, thank you.
No, one other question. Have you talked to the village inspector?
Yes.
You
I
have, okay. And he's okay with your layout?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, I want to open this up to any comments for or against from the general public. Let the meeting know there was no one who had made that comment. Very good, I'll close that portion. We have 2 items here before the board. One is the preliminary and the final approval. And then there's the parking space issue that we asked to grant a variance to.
Well, first of all, I'll make a motion that this is a type 2 action under C with no significant environmental impact.
I agree with you, thank you very much.
Second on that?
Very good, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. I would break this down into two. I would give it first the preliminary and final plan approval. And then the second one would be the 0 parking spaces provided.
I will make a motion, part of the recommendation for preliminary and final site plan approval for the change of use from a mercantile occupancy to a business occupancy classification.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor to approve.
I'll second that.
Seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. Very good. Now we've got the second one, it's 0 parking spaces.
I'll make a motion on, to waive the requirement for 1 parking space, or 2 parking spaces per 300 square feet, I believe it is.
Peter has made a motion to approve the 0 parking spaces.
I'll second that.
Seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. You're all set.
Thank you.
Congratulations, good luck.
Thank you very much.
Second one we've got on the agenda here is I'm looking for a Judy Colombo, the owner of 37 Martin Street. Is that you? Just come right up there, tell us again who you are, what your address is, what the address of the property is, and what you'd like to do.
Judy Colombo, I actually live at 7 Glen Valley Drive, Penfield, New York. We purchased the house for my daughter.
Okay,
And since we've moved in, they have to park in the rear part of the house. It's a double lot, and there's like a driveway that's dirt. And they have to walk through the grass to the back of the house to get in the house. Since they've moved in, they've had a baby. And while she was pregnant, it was difficult for her to walk through there in the wintertime. It's slippery and whatever. So we thought that if she could be able to park just one little spot in front of the house, it'd be easier for her to unload the car and the baby and get them into the house instead of walking all the way through the back. I'm not sure if you got pictures of the lot.
We do.
Of the area. We don't want to put a full-blown driveway in, we just wanted to, lay some stone down so it wouldn't, disrupt anything there, if there's any easements that go through or anything. It would be just something that would sit on top of the grass. Maybe dig up the grass a little bit and put down some gravel there so they could park there.
Okay, you are aware that parking on the front lawn in front of the house is specifically prohibited? Okay. In my physical view of the property, I noticed a power pole out there to the left of your maybe it's on your property, I don't know. But it's also got a long line coming down, and it looks like that comes clearly into part of your property. Whether that's actually in the way of the driveway, or what you're gonna call a driveway, I don't know or not, but has the power company, or are you gonna address moving that? Or are you just going to move the driveway so that it doesn't touch it?
Right, we've been there and it seems to be a lot of room there that we wouldn't have to even touch it.
Yeah, they won't move that.
They will or?
They will not.
They will not?
They will not move that,
Or do you need that?
yes. No, they're not gonna do it.
Okay,
Supports the pole, and,
okay, so,
I do have a statement from her pertaining to this, if possible. Could I read that?
sure, read it and just tell us who it's from, and we'll mark it that way.
Okay, it's from my daughter. She lives there.
And your daughter is who?
Danielle Joseph.
Daniel Joseph.
She goes, I appreciate you allowing us the opportunity to hear my case. When we moved into the house, everything seemed manageable and doable. The house is on a double lot, and I need to walk from the backyard to the back of the house on grass with no real sidewalk. When I became pregnant, it was very difficult and risky at times, slipping while walking through the grass. My daughter is 6 months old now, and I'm finding it hard to navigate getting myself, the baby, and all the baby stuff, plus groceries into the house. I work evenings, and so does my husband. It is a long walk, which is usually a 2 to 3 trip need. If I am granted access to park in the front of the house, I can enter the house with a very few steps. It would make my life unbelievably easier and safer. Please consider a yes vote tonight.
Okay, thank you. Open questions from members of the board? Unless you've got anything else to say.
No.
All right.
Well, mine is more of a comment. The fact that it's zoned industrial makes me feel more comfortable approving this.
Okay. It's also right next to other residential properties though on either
I
side.
realize that. I didn't look at it.
Okay.
How effective would just throwing stone, gravel down on the lawn be over time? That's my concern. You're just gonna churn up into mud eventually?
Well, that's what they have now on the other side of the house.
Right, but there was nothing, on the other side, that was the original driveway, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so there really wasn't anything underneath it, you know? There was dirt underneath it, so
Right.
I'm just wondering how it's, I'm just worried about it just being churned into mud eventually.
I don't know if you lay enough stone.
Unless you
down.
dig up, put a regular bed in,
I don't know, Joe, can you answer that?
I had somebody look at it, and we would probably scrape a couple of inches off the top, maybe 3 or 4, and lay some crushed stone down, fine, and then some little rougher stuff on the bottom, and then some fine on top. It's exactly the same as the driveway you have on that side, and that seems to have held up over many years. It never was a formal driveway on Orchard Street.
that side wasn't a formal driveway?
No.
But there was a garage in the back of that in the 1990s, wasn't there?
I have no idea, we have no idea what that property is. It's like a double lot, so when she goes in that side view, that side area, it's grass. There's no,
There's a shed there, but I don't see
Yeah,
anywhere.
there was a garage, there was a garage there.
Demolished in the
Down
90s.
further?
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
exactly.
demolished. There's a building permit for the demolition in your package.
oh, it did, okay.
Okay.
All right, so just a couple of clarifications if I may. So you're requesting a driveway,
Yeah.
but you can't put a driveway there because what you're asking for does not meet the definition of a driveway. The village definition of a driveway says, on residential properties, a gravelled or paved area from the street to a garage or to an area on which a conforming garage could be built. You cannot build a garage in front of this house, therefore you can't have a driveway in front of this house.
So what would you call it, like a pad or something?
Right, and parking pads are not allowed either. So, my question to you is, have you considered any alternative options? You do have an existing driveway of sorts off Orchard Street. You have a fully fenced-in backyard.
Yes.
Why can't you remove a section of the fence and extend the driveway off Orchard Street deeper into the backyard such that you can access the concrete walkway that's already behind the house?
Well, the concrete walkway that's behind the house is like little pieces of stone. It's not a walkway anymore because it's been there for years and years and years.
Okay.
But a walkway could be constructed if you extended the existing driveway off Orchard Street deeper into the backyard.
But it would go straight back in and she'd still have to walk quite a ways to get into the house.
Understood. But you also cannot put a driveway in the front yard of a house.
It would involve a curb cut too, even though
Well,
there's no curb.
There's no curb there.
There's a well, drainage thing.
So you see the dilemma. What you're asking for is absolutely prohibited in code, by code. You have an existing driveway. There are other alternatives that could be exercised here.
There, and let me just come in on that. The fence, did you put the fence up there? Was that fence?
Yes.
Okay. So there's some areas of that fence, you could put a doorway or a gate that would give you a lot closer. I mean, I walked that property twice in the past week. not on your property, but around that property.
Yeah.
And there, if you took and put a gate in there, and then, 3 yards of cement, a concrete walkway, it seems to me that would solve the problem. And the problem for us giving you a variance on this is that it just doesn't last for the length of time that your daughter's running. It lasts forever. And that's not something that I personally feel very comfortable about at all. And in fact, rarely do we have any requests for this type of situation that you're talking about. I'm not insensitive to the plight that your daughter's in right now. Been there, done that. I know what the thing is, but I'm very hesitant to give approval.
Is the back door, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just wondering if, I guess my question is why? I mean, it's not blocking anything, it's not running into anything, it's not hurting anybody, and it's not blocking a view or anything, so I don't understand why that would be.
Well, then you have to
First
take it out.
off, it
I
would
know
be
it's an
prohibited
ordinance.
by the village code. Let's start there.
Okay,
I think it's just the precedent that it would set.
Yes.
Like, how do they say no to the next person that wants to put a driveway in their front yard?
well, I guess if you, let's say my house, my driveway's in my front yard, in the front of
But
my
there's a
house.
garage though,
Yes,
so that's allowed,
All right.
because it goes to a garage.
That's
so it has to
specifically
go to
written
a
in the
garage.
code.
So
Well, it has to go to a garage
Or a place
where you could build a garage if there is no garage. So maybe, what if where that existing driveway is, why don't you put the new driveway, like 40 or 50 feet to the west? So, and then put the gate in there that Larry was talking about, and then you just have a little trip, go through the gate and you go through the back door into the covered porch. And that's in the side yard, so it doesn't violate code.
We would have
that
to
it's-
move the driveway to do that.
Well, you could leave the other one, use it, you could keep it there, I suppose, because it's not really a driveway, or you could,
Keep using
it
it
sounds
as
like
a
it's
parking
just, you could probably just rough it up and plant grass there. It doesn't sound like it would be that big a deal to get rid of the existing driveway, and then just put a little gravel driveway up closer to the back of the house.
And remove the shed and take down the fence.
Well, no, it would be beyond the shed, make it west of the shed.
There's not enough room
Well,
between the house and
according,
the
I
shed.
don't, if this is to scale it, there's enough room.
I think if you go there and see, it's not.
It's only about, to the house, it's probably about 6 or 7 feet.
Yeah.
Where the shed is?
Yes, from the corner of the shed to the house.
To the corner, to the
Well,
corner.
then this isn't right.
Yeah, whoever did this map really got the shed wrong.
Looks like about 20.
Yeah, it looks like it's about 20 feet or something like that.
No. It's not.
No, I think, in one of the pictures it might show it better.
I was just looking at the survey.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
I
you provided.
gave you, pictures of the house.
Yes.
Yeah, I see, yeah, that, this one.
This one right here.
Yeah.
That's probably a lot closer.
Yeah.
That's the fence.
So is that shed on a concrete pad or anything?
I don't think
But
so.
I don't think so.
Can you move the shed to the east? And,
It would be ideal that we put the driveway there, you can access the back door, right?
Yeah.
It'd actually be more convenient than accessing the front door.
Isn't there,
It would take some
isn't there
work.
gravel and something out in the backyard where there used to be a garage?
No, grass.
Grass.
There is something on between the paved sidewalk and there's fence and the pavement or the road, isn't there? We can't fix
Yeah,
it.
right here. This?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's where they park, that's where you park now. Right on
Okay.
Orchard Street.
all right.
Right, on Orchard Street, yeah.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure, you can.
It seems to me that nobody wants to do much construction at this point. Thanksgiving time, could this be put off until the spring. I doubt that they want to do this right away. Could it come back as a different project,
Table it?
more, with better drawings?
Well, we would have to do something with something brought before the board in a certain amount of time, within 60 days of
Well,
that.
they may not even need a variance. If they go on the side and they move the shed, because you could probably construct a garage in the backyard if you wanted to, and it would meet code.
It
So
would.
then it meets the definition.
Then you got a driveway that can
Then
go
they
to
just
the
gotta,
garage.
then they just gotta get a building permit. I don't even know if you need a building permit to put in a little gravel. You know, you'd have to talk to you wouldn't need a variance would be the bottom line.
And it can go to somewhere where a
And so you
garage
wouldn't
could
have
be
to, you
built.
wouldn't have to come back here.
So you're suggesting to,
You know, you'd have to move that shed, because you're right, looking at the photograph, it's kind of, right near that shed is where I would, you put the gate,
right,
and then you just walk in the back door,
I think the gates are.
but you could put the same size little one-car driveway that you were talking about on Martin Street, just make it on Orchard Street, near the back of the house. You wouldn't even have to extend it through the fence if you didn't want to.
I would want to, because I gotta keep that enclosed.
Yeah, well, so then all you needed, so
So you're
then,
suggesting just move
so
the
then
driveway
all you're
over
doing
to
is
the
putting,
door.
all you're doing is putting a gate up, so you don't even need to move the shed, right? Because you're just having a gate that your daughter can walk through and
Access the other.
get to the, she's just a lot closer to the back door.
And you have to build the driveway back there, not in front of the house though.
Right.
There's something there. There's a pipe that comes up.
Yeah, there is some sort of pipe. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it could be. It's something. It could be a.
Well, it's just a suggestion. If you wanna try to look into that and, meet with the village's building inspector to see if it's something you can do, fine. If not, we could table this and you can come back in December for the same variance in the front and see what happens.
Or January, we'd have to probably make it, but
Well, I don't know if we have anything in for December now.
we're talking about
We
that.
might be pushing it to January.
Oh. Or whatever.
Could we defer it off for that long, or I thought we were limited to 60 days?
No. No, that's when there's a public hearing, you gotta make a decision. Well,
Okay.
there is a public hearing.
This is a public hearing.
I'm not sure that's for, well, you're tabling it.
You're
So
tabling it, so.
you're not making a decision, you're just tabling the application. You can table it as long as you want. You have, when they make a final application, you've got 62 days to make a decision. But it's not from today because we don't know, this may not be their application. If they can do it on the side, they won't even come back here.
So isn't it up to the applicant to decide whether to table it or have a vote on it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the stance is still gonna be the same 3 months from now. It's not the code, so I feel
If you
like.
put it in
Right.
front.
Put it in front, it's not a.
But I'm saying we're giving you time to investigate whether you can do it on the side. Because now you're talking about some pipe, I don't know what you're talking about.
It's some sort of
what's there?
pipe. I don't know
Yeah,
what
it
it
is,
is.
yeah.
You know, if it's not practical to do it on the side, then you can come back here.
I think it's safe to say, if you have been hearing what I've been hearing, you're never gonna get the parking pad approval in the front yard. So we can vote down your application, and you would have to start over anyway, or you can withdraw it.
It's never gonna get passed, so you're better off just withdrawing.
But if you table it and you come back with another application, or you come back with more information,
Well, you'll save the
You'll
application fee.
save money.
You'll save
Right.
the application fee if you table it
right?
rather than withdraw it. Just put it off till the January meeting. And that'll give you time to see if you can do it on the side.
Okay,
If you can do it on the side, meet with the building inspector, you don't have to come back here.
okay.
And then we
you
can
can-
be off of
and then
Orchard
and then at that point, you can just withdraw this application that'll be pending for January.
Okay.
So it'll save you the $100 or
Makes
whatever it
sense.
is for 120, it'll save you $125 to file another application.
Okay.
You know, and that'd be another grounds for them to reconsider. If they come back and say, because of A, B, and C, this is why we can't put the driveway on this, off of Orchard Street, then maybe that may sway a vote or two to allow you to put it on Martin Street.
Okay, makes some sense.
But now we just don't have enough information.
We'll table it.
So we're not withdrawing the application, we are tabling it for,
Next board meeting. Whenever-
until the next board meeting, which is either December or January. And in the meantime, you will have some discussions with the building inspector about what you can and cannot do.
Okay.
Out
Perfect.
of variance.
Right. Yeah, tell him you want to think about doing it in the backyard off of Orchard Street. See what he has to say. Do you want to, there might be some public comment, Mr. Chairman, if you want to.
Yeah, just one.
Go ahead.
Richard Walder, 20 Elm Street. Just one public comment too. There's other things to be considered tonight. You'll have 2 alternates. At the next meeting, you may have 2 different members instead of the alternates. So
That's true.
the voting may be different.
So that's another argument to maybe come back in January. You might find some more sympathetic.
It may not be in your favor different.
Do you have any sympathetic people that you want to put on board in January?
Okay.
So I'm going to make a motion that we do, at the advice of the applicants, that we table this to the next zoning board of appeals meeting.
Okay, we've got a motion on the table to table this to the next meeting. Seconded by Peter, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? None. Okay.
And the
Either
village
December
will
or
let you know
likely
whether that's going to
January.
be in December or January.
Okay, all right.
Right, Karen?
Yeah, we'll give you a call tomorrow. Okay, thank you.
We do want to work with you to help your daughter.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming out. All right, now, that is it. Now, there's a couple of things maybe in the works for December.
Yeah, that's-
They may not be also. What we're doing is we're working on changing the date for December. What I want to know is how you people feel about moving it to, what did we say?
The 10th, the week
Moving it
before,
to
but
the
the
10th of
Tuesday.
December. Otherwise, you end up in the week before Christmas. Or if nothing happens then, we'll just roll into January. Thank you.
Are there any applications now?
We have potentially 3, but no one has their applications in yet, and next week would be the deadline, so we can look at moving it off.
Encouraging January if they want
Nobody's
to.
really ready yet.
Right, so
How do you guys feel about that?
Well, if we went to the 10th, though, there wouldn't be any time to get it advertised. And
It would be tight, we could do it, but it would be tight.
If they
Less
got them
time
in,
for you
if they
guys
got
to
the
review it.
applications in within the next few days.
Yeah, it would have to be next week. We have to get it in.
Right, but next week's like
why
5
not?
days.
Why not?
Right, yes, before the holiday, yes, it would be tough.
So, I mean, I could do it.
Yeah.
I don't care. Okay, just give you an idea that that's out there, and that's a
I
possibility.
should have got
Um,
along to do that backyard.
Okay,
It's kind of hard to see.
because we're gonna have some
Do you know what the
attendance
village board is
issues
doing?
on the 19th or
Are they going to have
17th.
their meeting on the 26th,
Yes, I believe they moved it.
the day after Christmas?
No, they moved it earlier in the week.
Well, not Christmas, well, the day before is Christmas, and they're not going to have it on Tuesday, Christmas Eve, right?
That's all right.
Seriously.
Do we have other information gotta come?
No, I was asking Karen about what the village board is doing. Because normally their meeting would be the 26th, but they want to move it, but if they move it to the previous Tuesday, that's Christmas Eve.
Yeah, that won't work.
I'm not showing up.
I think it's
I don't know about anybody else.
I think we actually moved it.
To the following week, but like the 31st, New Year's Eve.
And if we're not causing anybody any huge issues, Kathy,
I'll
that
pull
would,
it, it's down.
Okay.
yeah, if we're not causing anybody any huge issues, I would move everything to December,
Okay.
to January, if they could.
We'll look
If
at
they
it.
can't, we'll adjust to it, we'll do something, I don't know what. I already told you where I was gonna be.
Yeah.
Someplace warm?
Well, my
Warmer than here.
35-year-old military son is graduating from the University of Hawaii.
Oh, nice.
Someplace warm.
Good place to go to school.
All right.
It's where I guess a lot of the guys go on a GI Bill.
Not a bad idea.
Hilo, I don't know.
Oh, Don, 30th.
They're doing it on a Monday.
Monday.
Oh, that's wild. Okay.
Is that New Year's Eve? No.
No, the date is December 30th on
Monday.
a Monday. Okay.
Okay.
All right, then what I'm looking for here is if nobody's got anything else, at least you know about a potential change. We will communicate with you if there is a change or if we do something else. Otherwise, it'll be in January. We'll see if this one comes back at us with other information. Motion?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Got a motion to
Second.
adjourn, seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None, very good, thank you. 34 minutes, not bad.